welcome to Eden Town Hall. This is like the 54th Eden Town Hall or something like that. I haven't been keeping track much, but that will be a topic on the agenda, the next steps for the Eden Town Hall. Thanks everybody for joining. Today is July 3rd. We have an Eden on EOS election coming up in I think 4 days, the 7th one or something like that, the 8th one, who knows. Somebody probably knows here. And we also have a bunch of other exciting topics. First, I'll just share a brief overview of the topics on the agenda. I was traveling over the past week, so it's a little bit less prepared than I'd like, and I'm looking forward to getting much more preparation and so forth for the Eden Town Hall to make an awesome show for everybody. Thanks so much everybody for joining, and thanks so much everybody for watching. I'll open up in a moment to hear from everybody, but first I'll just share Eden Town Hall, where you can learn about Eden Town Hall and see the videos, the prior episodes that we published in previous weeks, and you can RSVP. We're doing these Town Hall meetings that are open to everybody every other Monday at 17 UTC. I have to update this actually because this website was made a little while ago and we changed the time due to the Alien Worlds Fractal. If you click episodes, you can see the most recently published episodes, and that's something we're discussing about the future town hall, publishing this episode soon because very timely in terms of the upcoming election. But you can check out the 37th episode, the 36th episode, and so forth that we'll get into, and I'll explain a bit about why it's been taking a while to publish these. I also put together a really quick agenda and Notion here. And as I said, it's not as nice as I'd like it to be. Like, it's kind of just very basic, but we're going to talk a little bit about recapping the Pomelo crowdfunding round that we had season 6. And all the excitement that went going along with that just ended a couple of days ago. We're also going to be talking about EOS price index. I just wrote EOS Index, and Nicolas got some exciting updates that he's working on, put out a great thread analyzing EOS and the price and the future and so forth. We're going to give a little bit of Eden Fractal updates, a little bit of Alien Worlds and Alien Worlds Fractal updates, and then we're going to go into some Eden on EOS updates and talk about the future. With that, I will stop the screen share before getting into the Pomelo recap, and then we can go play it by ear. Maybe we'll do an hour episode. We usually try to do it quick to respect everybody's time, but we can see how it goes and keep an open flowing conversation. I want to welcome Patrick, Rosemary, Nicolas, Noam, Red, and Brendan, and Lenny. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining. We were actually having some great discussions. Weren't recorded, but we were talking a bit with Lenny about his work as a chief delegate and the bylaw proposal that we're getting to a little bit as well. Noam was asking some questions about how to deal with all the information, and Brendan was also coming here to catch up on the Eden happenings, all the stuff happening in Eden. Anyway, I can go on and summarize. We just got out of the Alien Worlds Fractal meeting to the third one after Vlad made the proposal, so it's been an exciting day so far, and I suppose I'll just open up the floor if anyone wants to say hello or say some words to the recording to everybody here. It looks like Patrick does, so I can pass it over to Patrick, and I see Nicolas unmuted as well. What's up, everybody?
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, guys. Greetings and salutations.
Wow, we have such a polite group here. Greetings and salutations. Hello, hello. Great to hear. It looks like you have a nice microphone there too, Brendan. That sounds good. I've been enjoying listening to that on some recent ENF interviews. I listened to your recent interviews that you did with the Facings team from a while ago, and I think you did one with Eyal from PPS and some other ones. So thanks so much. And also hearing the fireside chats too. It sounds like maybe you've been speaking with Andrew Ware. I don't know if you had a great setup microphone over a while, but great to hear from you. Thanks for joining. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, Andrew has the original version of this microphone. This is the SM7B. He just has the SM7. He's always like one-upping me. He's like, I've got the classic model, actually. Before they added that B, but I'm Brandon, so there should be a B on my microphone. So
yeah, you have not his mustache. You have the microphone, but not the mustache.
No mustache, no more beard.
Okay,
just me.
just you. Okay, nice.
Just clean shaven Brendan Lovejoy. Well, great to see you and great to hear from you. Almost. And yeah, it's difficult to compete with Andrew's audio engineering skills, but maybe if you did get the mustache, maybe that would help you to get on his level to some extent.
Maybe, yeah. I'll work on it.
Sounds great. And sounds great nonetheless that it works with the B too. So maybe there's some cosmic synergy there. I see Noam is unmuted too. If you want to add anything here, Noam, before we get into, or Brendan or Patrick or anybody, if you want to throw anything else, or Red or Rosemary. This is also Red's first time on the town hall too. Red said he's mostly going to be observing today. I was just talking with Red at the Alien Worlds Fractal. He's working on all sorts of cool stuff, building a new game in Alien Worlds too. So that's really exciting. And perhaps in a future town hall episode, we can feature that. Great to see you, Red. Great to see you. If you want to say hello, then feel free. It would be cool. And yeah, so also in future episodes, open offer if anybody wants to schedule a topic. We have some exciting topics on the agenda for today, but future episodes we're working on getting much more organized with Notion, as I showed you before, working on like a collaborative show where people can vote on topics in Notion and stuff like that. So if anybody has anything in mind for future episodes, you want to schedule a topic, then feel free to do so. But with that, I see Gnome still unmuted, and looks like Brendan's looking off in the distance, thinking about some deep mystery or thinking of some poetry or something like that. Would anybody like to share any other thoughts before we get into the topics on the agenda?
Let's go.
Let's go. All right, sounds good. All right, so first things first, we should probably discuss the recent Pomelo happenings, everything that's going on with Pomelo. So I will share my screen here. If anyone's not familiar with Pomelo, it is a crowdfunding platform. Oops, I think I just shared the wrong screen. I shared the wrong screen, and I will fix that right now. I got a bit confused. Apologies for that. Okay, cool. So here is Pomelo.io. I think everybody here is familiar, but it is a crowdfunding platform where you can fund the projects that you love, built on EOS, also now working with the Wax ecosystem as well. And the Pomelo team is now analyzing results. There was over $150,000, $200,000, somewhere around there in funds for EOS EVM projects, EOS GameFi projects, everything EOS projects, Telos projects. You can see Patrick, Nova Crypto getting right there up on the top to help promote it. And Lenny with the recaps. Well, we have a strong performance or a strong showing of people right at the top of this list, basically. But, well, we've done a lot of episodes about that in the past. And there's also a website here or a page I put together at edencreators.com/Pomelo, where you can learn more in addition to Pomelo.io. And if you scroll down to the bottom, then you can go check out their YouTube channel with EOS Nation and also their blog where you can learn much more. And this is the Eden Creator site. So if anybody's not familiar with Pomelo, definitely recommend checking it out.
Dan, on behalf of the community.
Something is playing here.
Unfortunately, the timing was kind of unfortunate. I had to take a call while we were discussing the topic.
Okay, let me try this.
I don't know if you're available.
I don't know why that's happening. I'm just quitting Google Chrome because I figure that is how Stefan is sneaking into my computer. Sorry about that for the confusion. Thanks for letting me know.
This came in the far side. I had to mute myself until about 2 minutes.
And now Eve is coming in too. Okay. What is going on? The ENF and EOS Nation. Did you call on them, Brendan, to come and crash our town hall? I'm just joking. But anyway, I think I got the resolve. Close the windows. As I said, it was a little bit of a crazy week traveling. But yeah, you can check out a bunch of stuff on Pomelo here. Actually, we held the third and fourth Pomelo pitch sessions or public good Eden Fractal Pomelo sessions that we have Fractal episodes I did with that Rosemary and I co-hosted a couple months ago, where you can learn about Pomelo. Gnome shared some great feedback about that too. So we can get into this more in detail, but I just want to show a high-level overview. And then Patrick had asked before about he mentioned it'd be great because this is the Eden election is coming up on July 8th. This is, I think, the 7th one. I encourage everybody to sign up and participate and learn what's going on, get informed, have fun, get a chance to earn some funding and be a delegate and help shape the future of Eden and EOS and governance and democracy and also games around the world. And so encourage everybody to join. Patrick mentioned that it'd be great to publish videos sooner. And as I showed before on this, I haven't published a video in like 3 or 4 months. I'll just give a really quick recap on that and where it's at. I was just going to share this in the town hall Telegram chat at t.me/Eden Town Hall. Patrick said that would be cool. And then I wrote over here, basically, actually, I don't know if that actually fully loaded. But I'm planning to publish a video as soon as possible. It'll take some time and resources to get up to date. And I had written a section in the Eden Town Hall Pomelo grant that was approved and did raise some funding this term. Also, special shout out to Chris Barnes, who donated 100 EOS to the Eden Town Hall grant. Really much appreciated. I got it in pretty late, so I wasn't able to promote it that much. I promoted it like 12 hours beforehand. But there's a section here where you can learn about the town hall and what is going on. We've done over 50-something episodes already. And then there's a funding section where I've been mostly volunteering to do this on my own for just about a year. I've originally was funded by Bywire, but I'm also working on producing videos for Eden Fractal and hosting those and building new consensus games there, and also working at Alien Worlds Fractal and stuff like that. So basically, I haven't had a chance to do it because it's been on me and it's been mostly volunteer basis. But we have a bunch of great episodes that are there, and we've made about 15 other episodes that we're working on publishing. And I did actually just train Rosemary to publish a video this past week for the Eden Fractal 54 meeting. You can see it here. We had an Eden Fractal episode 54 and we worked on a thumbnail together too. So, and I'm working on training another person to help with that. So hopefully we'll get caught up on that soon. And for this one, I can try to publish it as soon as possible. So we see all the great people here. And then I'll also just share like a bit of, I don't want to talk too much about my own stuff, but I did have a little update that I shared here with the Pomelo Fractal Apple and also the Eden Town Hall grants here and the Eden Creators Grant. There was a whole big conversation about the Eden Creators Grant not getting approved. I recommend people listening to the EOS Fireside chat and also check out the links that I shared in a bunch of different messages here where you can find timestamps and links. But just want to say thank you, everybody, for your support and both being here at the Eden Town Hall and sharing your thoughts, and everybody who donated to those grants. I know Nicolas supported as well as Patrick. Patrick donated 200 EOS to the Eden Creators Grant last term, and Brendan, I think I saw you donated too. So really appreciate that, and really appreciate everybody joining. It's super helpful and everything like that. So people can check the links in the description to learn more about it as another thing pops up. I suppose, well, there's also more coming out on Pomelo.io, as they said. Then they're working on analyzing the results. You can check out their blog. And I think Patrick has a mind map and lots of information where you can find more. But maybe I'll just open up there if anybody has any thoughts about the Pomelo season and how it's been so far. Then we'd be happy to hear from it. Happy to hear from you all. Any thoughts about Pomelo that you'd like to share about the recent season?
Yes. I have not a mind map coming. I have a cockpit, but a cockpit is a dashboard. Like in a plane, you have a cockpit, and on the cockpit, you have different dashboards. So I am creating a dashboard, a cockpit for Pomelo, because when you go on Pomelo website that is on Shopify based, you cannot do a lot of statistics. You cannot know, for example, what are the grants that are into, for example, the category education, and that are into the matching pool, everything EOS. If you want to know what is into a pool, you have to choose the pool. And then if you want to know what is into a category, you have to choose a category. So there is no relationships. So what I am creating, it's this cockpit Pomelo. Now that we have the season 6 finished, I am creating this cockpit that will be published just after the Eden on EOS election after this Saturday, where the people can go there and do their research and discovery into a cockpit, like the cockpit of the bees, but for Pomelo. That's that. And about the mind map, that's another thing. It's for Eden on EOS. We have a mind map to let the people go into the correct place. That's other thing. But just for Pomelo. So that's a dashboard coming after the Eden on EOS selection. Just that.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Patrick, for your work on the cockpit. I love the ESP's cockpit that you have going on, and we have Nicolas here if you'd like to share any comments about that. We talked about that a bit on previous episodes, or quite a bit actually. We've gone into details, and you've done awesome work there as well as some great tweets featured in the cockpit too. But yeah, perhaps Nicolas, if you'd like to add anything there, or if anybody else wants to jump in, then feel free.
Yeah, no, yeah, you pretty much said all. Thank you for Patrick for the work you do with us. This is very appreciated. Otherwise, we are still growing. Every day we have new bees joining, so we are happy about that. And so, yeah, nothing extraordinary new to say.
Nicolas is very modest, but I appreciate the work that the bees are doing, for sure. A lot of bees. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Patrick.
You're welcome. Okay, let's move on.
Absolutely. Yeah, if anybody else has any comments or thoughts that you want to jump in with, then feel free, of course, to do so. But if not, then we can keep moving. I actually did remember a very big Pomelo topic that I kind of, in the haste of getting it already going, I didn't think to put it together. So I'll just briefly mention, well, first off, I'll share the screen too. And of course, if anyone wants me to share the screen to show what they're talking about, then feel free to let me know in the chat and I'll pick it up to help promote everybody's work, doing great work. This is what Patrick was talking about. I encourage you to check out Nova Crypto Ltd on Twitter, where you can learn about all the great things he's doing with cockpits and mind maps and so forth. And you can check out his Pomelo grant over here and also give it a like and a retweet to help spread the word as well. There was a great one that I was trying to pull up that he did working with Nicolas and Jesse and the bees, promoting it with the AI that Nicolas and Jesse have been doing. That looks really cool, but I couldn't find that. But if you scroll down, there's a bunch of great stuff. Pomelo.io/grant/mindweb, you can learn more. And then one thing I want to mention too, that was really cool that we've been working on. Well, one thing actually that I meant to pull up, Pomelo Collections Eden Fractal. I put up a collection where you can find Patrick's grant and my grants and Rosemary's grant and Nicolas' grant with the bees and several others. There's 19 grants from amazing builders who participate in Eden Fractal meetings and help people cooperate with Fractal Consensus games. So I've been curating them here, and it's been great to see people. There's been some new grants from many great community members this season, and it's been great to see people support. I think in last season, between the two pitch sessions, we raised something like 20,000 EOS for community members, which is great to see, and it's a great kind of both an opportunity to raise funds and then a way for the Eden Fractal community to work together to learn how to tell our story as best as possible and raise funding for each other and so forth to help promote these profoundly helpful tools that we're using with EOS and with Eden. So I want to encourage people to check that out in future seasons, and big shout out to the Pomelo team for putting together the Pomelo software and then also this collection features. I've also been looking into the Gitcoin software too, which is really fascinating. There's a new Allo protocol, which I was talking with Noam a bit about adding that to Cignals games, and this is something I want to mention here actually. So I mentioned we had the first two Eden Fractal Pomelo pitch sessions back in like 3 months ago or so during the last season, and then this season we held 2 more pitch sessions where people could promote public goods, promote their Pomelo grants. I'm going to be publishing the videos soon. I'm also about 2 weeks behind on Eden Fractal videos, but we just published the 54th video that I think I showed over here, if not mistaken, Signaling Alien Worlds Part 3, where the Eden Fractal community recommended Vlad and Red as custodians on Planet Ike. And of course, you can go and check all of these on the Eden Creators YouTube channel to learn more. We've been doing some really exciting stuff there, as well as the Alien Worlds Fractal. But some of the really cool, new, exciting stuff that we've been doing that's been collaborating with Mello, and something that I'm looking forward to reaching out to. We were talking with Stefan before, and the EOS Nation team, they're building Pinax. And I saw Patrick actually had a tweet about Firehose. This has been a topic that we discussed during recent EOS Fireside Chats. Basically, the EOS Nation team has been building a new company called Pinax, which is working with the graph, and it's enabling developers and people in general to bridge the gap between dApps and on-chain data like never before with Firehose. For example, you can take on-chain data from the EOS blockchain and put it directly into a Google spreadsheet, which works very well. I've been working with Noam quite a bit on Google spreadsheets for Cignals. So Cignals is a new game or a new tool or a new app that we've been using to play new kinds of consensus games at Eden Fractal. So for example, there's a site here, edenfractal.com/pitches, where it provides an introduction to the Eden Fractal pitch sessions. And this week, I made this proposal, working out with Rosemary on this, who's recently joined the Eden Creators team. So huge shout out and thanks to Rosemary for helping provide a lot of super helpful feedback here. But basically, in this week, I gave away 50 EOS. I'm still working on getting it out because I'm working on with Noam on the spreadsheet, but giving 50 EOS, and we're going to be giving out NFTs as well, working with Gudasol, Douglas Butner on that, and maybe Red as well. But we had a game where people shared their Pomelo pitches or speeches about public goods for 3 minutes each, and then players ranked each other, their speeches, to determine which ones were the most helpful or the most fun. We had some really fun ones where people played music. It was great hearing Patrick's voice and Dwayne's voice and stuff like that. So we're using this new Signals game, which we can go more in detail into it another time. And I'm also going to get together the website, the page that describes it more in detail, because this Signals page is a little bit out of date right now. But basically, it's been a really fun way, and I was advocating for it at the recent EOS Fireside Chat. I think this could be a great tool for all kinds of things. We were talking about like a freestyling rapping competition, and Stefan asked Brendan to give out $1 million for freestyle rappers in Pomelo. And so this could be a cool way to do it, where the whole community gets involved and helps make decisions. There's a big discussion about Pomelo and how we could like things that work really well with it and things that are opportunities for improvement. So I'm planning to reach out to Martin. He actually reached out to me, so we're going to discuss potential collaborations. I'm really excited about that, but just want to show people this that we've been doing. You can learn more at edencreators.com/pitches, and then this spreadsheet here that I've been working on with Noam. We're kind of automating a lot of this stuff. First, we're using the Slido app where people can rank each other and so forth. So I also want to say a huge thanks to Noam and also Rosemary, who's been helping, and Noam has been figuring out all sorts of Excel spreadsheets and stuff like that, also advocating for quadratic funding. So I wanted to add to that, and huge thanks to the Pinax and EOS Nation team for pioneering with Firehose. I think this will be a super helpful tool, Firehose and Substreams. If anyone wants to jump in, I know I shared a lot of information there kind of by surprise, and I see some messages in the chat too. But okay, so I'll pull those up. I see Patrick shared some messages at Eden on EOS. We'll get to the Eden on EOS topic pretty quickly, pretty soon. But first, we have some topics about the EOS Index tweets that Nicolas has been making about the future trajectory of EOS, and we'll also talk a bit about Eden Fractal and Eden on EOS. But yeah, first off, before we move on, does anybody have any other topics or any other thing on their mind about the Eden Fractal pitch sessions or the progress with Pomelo or Pinax or Cignals or anything like that?
Yeah, I have a little exclusivity. I will interview someone of Pinax for Antelope Swiss Workshop number 21 on July 23rd published. So I will have the chance to make an interview, a breakdown into Firehose, the Substream, and all this technology, Web3 technology, very interesting for development. So I have an interview about that. I leave at that because I have other great guest for Antelope Swiss Workshop, July 23rd, number 21 already.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Patrick. I'm looking forward to this workshop, as I have been for all the previous workshops on the Nova Crypto channel. And hopefully you'll join us again to promote it. We can promote it together. And very excited for that. And looking forward to it. I'll also just mention Pinax.network, where you can learn more. I'm probably scrolling a bit too fast here, but you can learn more and connect. This is now active on Antelope blockchains, such as EOS. So people can now use this, and the tool is still in early stages, but it works quite well. Looking forward to working with Noam and Martin actually on figuring out how to do this for the Cignals app, because it did take kind of a lot of work to manually do it, but this will make it so much faster and have it all on the blockchain. So many benefits of the EOS blockchain that we'll get from there. So yeah, I recommend people check it out. And they also have a great YouTube channel as well, where you can see a bunch of videos with Matthew and several others. And if you go to the ENF's YouTube channel, shout out once again to Lovejoy and everybody at the ENF for doing great work, especially on the YouTube channel for the EOS Network Foundation. And then you can find the recent fireside chats too, where I'll just briefly bring this up in case people aren't familiar. If you go to youtube.com and then you type in EOS Network Foundation and you go to this channel over here, you could see this has been a topic, I think, in like all four of the past Substreams episodes. And there's one with Denis, who's working with the Pinax team. And we discussed this in the recent episodes, where you can also find us talk about Pomelo and all sorts of other stuff as well. But anyway, thanks so much, Patrick, for that interview. And if anybody else has any other topics or any other things that come to mind about this, then feel free to jump in. But I suppose we can also keep moving along as well. Oh, I see Brendan unmuted there. So Brendan, you have some thoughts you'd like to share?
I'm unmuted now, but I wasn't unmuted.
Oh, okay. My bad. Or Zoom's bad. It looked like Zoom pulled you up. But good to hear your voice with your great B microphone anyway. Get a little introduction just to hear from the lovely Lovejoy voice. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, I recommend people checking out. If you want to hear more from Lovejoy, you could scroll down here and hear him talking on the EOS Fireside Chat. See that segue. And you can also see, I'm looking forward to listening to this. This is the NutraSwap AMA they did with Stefan. NutraSwap is building an EOS EVM. Really cool and interesting stuff going on there. And then all sorts of great clips that Lovejoy and the ENF team have been producing. It was also great hearing from Lovejoy on this Twitter Spaces with the Hypha team, and really fascinating people too. Some awesome people, such as, I don't remember her name, Kene. That was a very inspiring speech that I recall. So yeah, I recommend listening to this so you can hear Lovejoy's voice and Idal's voice and everybody else, all the developers at the EOS Node Roundtable as well. And then, of course, one thing I mentioned too, I met Lovejoy for the first time, and also Liam and several other people at Consensus. We discussed this in a previous town hall, but I figure since Lovejoy's here, we can mention it. We actually had a little interview part where I joined here. I met with Colin from the GameFi team, and yeah, we had some really fun moments here too. So just figured I'd throw that up because I did see that, and that was good. Met with Fatty too. She's amazing, so it was really good. But yeah, anyway, feel free to jump in. But I suppose now's a good time to pass it on to Nicolas. Nicolas has been working with EOS Price Index. You can find us at EOS Index on Twitter, where he has been making tweets and doing analysis, technical analysis, and all sorts of analysis on the price of EOS and the trajectory and so forth. You can like it and give it a retweet. He shared this with me last week, and I thought it was really cool. And I'm looking forward to learning more from Nicolas. So Nicolas, if you'd like to guide us here in general about EOS Price Index, I think we featured a little bit in past episodes, but if you want to give us an introduction perhaps to the EOS Price Index and what you're doing here. I see you have the EOSB's map that I think was made by Charles Bishop, which is really cool to see, at least part of it, blended with a bull, which is cool. And then you have a really interesting tweet about unraveling the EOS Enigma. So on to you, Nicolas.
Yeah, so when I studied that, I noticed that there were no like influencer talking about the EOS price action or technical analysis, and so I studied this because yeah, it was just for fun. Like I'm not doing that for anything else. I'm doing that for myself and I'm sharing it. So what I do is that every week I publish an index, which is number going from 0 to 100, and basically how can I say that without saying like this is investment or something like that. It's just like a number that guides basically what I think on where the price should go in the coming weeks. I just want to say that it doesn't take into account, for example, news like EOS EVM, IBC, until all the news that can come up with about what the EOS ecosystem. So it's just technical analysis. However, I take the EOS sentiment, which is measured by the Luna Crush website, which is I have an account there. So yeah, I basically talk about all of those things. All of this is public. All of those data that I take into account is public and free, except for the Luna Crush sentiment. You need to have an account and just pay like a little bit to have access to this data. This data, like you see on the screen. So yeah, and so I try to gather all of those variables. So yeah, I turn all of those indicators into variables. Obviously, it's my choice. I chose the coefficient. I chose how to do all of that. And if you disagree, it's perfectly fine. It's not like written right. I'm not claiming that I'm professional of that. But yeah, I try to gather all of that, turn that into variables, and transform it to an index. If you are not really like, which I completely understand, a fan of technical analysis, I think just the justification and the comments I make could be more interesting for the people that are not like specifically price oriented. So yeah, just do like what you want, do what you want. It's just there. If you don't like it, I perfectly understand. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Sounds great. Thank you very much, Nicolas, for the introduction to the EOS price index. And yeah, it's really cool, really interesting to see how you're pulling data. I know we talked a little bit about the sentiment indicators, and I know that's something that you've also looked quite into with Jesse and the rest of the ESBs too. Maybe briefly, I'll just show the Pomelo grant. I think we went and did a deep dive into some of these indicators in a town hall in the past, and I remember covering this when I was working for EOS Nation doing the hot sauce. But you can check out pomelo.io/grant/bees to learn how they are working with data from sources like you just mentioned. I'm
Yeah,
blanking on the name right now.
yeah. So
yeah, lunar crust social metrics. That's right.
yeah,
To track
yeah.
the
So
effectiveness.
by investigating on what we do with the bees and social mention, we noticed that it's not rocket science. Like it's really easy to understand that sentiment and price of an asset is linked together. Like there is a connection between sentiment and price. Now the billion-dollar question, how they are linked together, what's the power of that relation, which really depends on what asset you have, market cap, etc. And so yeah, this is one of the good thing about the swarms. This is not the only one, but this is one. And yeah, we try to explain that as simply as possible into our Pomelo speech, like the texture. I don't know how you call that, the texture like presentation. But yeah, and yeah, about the percentage, I just want to say that you mentioned that I wrote down a thread. If you can go back to it, I wrote down a thread about something that really is like interesting and a paradox. I call that the paradox. It's the ChatGPT that came up with the title. It's not me, obviously, but that's kind of a paradox. So
Unraveling the EOS enigma. Nice.
yeah, for sure. So unfortunately, it's not something that goes the way of the price. Like it's not a good thing. And I try to explain to 12 different tweets. I think this thread is 12 tweets, so we're not gonna go all the way because it would take too much time. But yeah, this is really something. Don't like it if you haven't really read it, then like
I did. I read this last week, and I was actually signed into the Dogman
okay.
account, so I think that I liked and retweeted
Okay.
from there. But
Okay,
I read
okay.
it. I thought it was very interesting.
Yeah, this is
If you want to give an overview, or go ahead, what were you saying there?
yeah, so in 2 words, it's just that EOS is a token that is heavily traded and leveraged on both sides, so on the seller and buyer side, so short and long. And when I say heavily, if you can see just quickly the graph, is really way more than the other coins that are like similar altcoins, I would say, than EOS. And what I point out is that I don't really understand why, from my perspective. Like this is what I say, I'm not professional. Maybe someone else had the answer. I don't. And this is what I say in the thread. I don't really know why. And unfortunately, in a bear market, having so much leverage on a token like EOS is a bad thing, because basically the long get squeezed, and so it creates more selling pressure. But whatever. So this is what I point out. And yeah, I mean, if you have any comments on that, for sure you can comment on it. I'm glad if someone has the answer. I would love to hear it, because I don't have it. So, but yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah. If any of you guys have any comments about that, I'd be happy to hear from it. And that would be a very interesting thing to explore. I see Red said great learning resource as well, talking about price index and also ESPs. I'm not exactly sure what that was. That was a couple minutes ago. And then Patrick said ChatGPT is really great at creating tweet thread. Yeah, I agree. And mentioning back to Patrick's recent tweets, working with the bees, there's been some great threads that are like really incredible. Also, ChatGPT plus Midjourney. I know at the recent EOS Fireside Chat, Brendan Lovejoy was talking about how he made Eve's new profile picture in Midjourney, and yeah, the AI tools are getting very powerful and they're very useful. If anyone wants to comment on that, feel free, of course. And then just one thing that I thought about when you mentioned, like, when you're looking for the reasons for this phenomena, and I didn't get a chance to comment below, but I suppose I could just offer one suggestion here. I feel like, and maybe this is just me speculating or something like that, but I feel like people who know about EOS, like, really know about EOS, and there's not, that huge amount of people. Like, there's, I don't know how many hundreds or thousands of people who are really aware and paying attention to EOS. Many people on this call and outside of the call that we mentioned at this call, but like, yeah, I feel like there's a lot of people who are probably very bullish and very excited about the future of EOS because they see all the developments going on. And so maybe some of those people, I know I've done a little bit before. I don't mess around with leverage and stuff like that, but I've tried playing around because I was so excited about everything that's going on. And I can imagine if somebody's really excited, they have like all this knowledge because they've been in the ecosystem for 5 years. Then they could think, oh, well, this is a really great opportunity that most people don't know about. So they could think that's an opportunity for them to gain, not financial advice, of course, because in many cases it hasn't worked out well. But I can imagine that being one of the reasons, just that there's such an engaged community who can see all the benefits, like all the stuff we're talking on this call and so much more, that are excited because they see that there's a lot of value that the community is creating and a lot of helpful things, and they want to help it, and they want to also be helped by it as well. So that would be one potential hypothesis that I'd be curious if you thought about that, Nicolas.
Yeah, of course, but I don't think it's the case. In my opinion, someone that like us that believe in the token, I don't think there is a lot of us that are playing like with leverage on EOS. I think we are most the type of people that just have a little bit of token and hold it, whatever happens. I don't know. I'm just speculating. I think, yeah, I don't think so. I don't think it's the case, but I don't know. Like I said.
Well, the enigma continues then.
Yeah, follow up on
that's
that.
a good point.
Maybe we're gonna see the charts moving in the future, and of course, if it does, I will update that for sure. I keep an eye on this. This is, yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, sounds good. Looking forward to future analysis that you share, and maybe we will fully unravel the enigma at some point too. I'll also just give a quick shout out and perhaps preview too, because Nicolas and I have been talking for a while about maybe having a longer discussion about Nicolas' work. But as far as I remember, Nicolas, you studied macroeconomics in school, and you had a YouTube channel making it, and you also at some point you linked to me your YouTube channel. I think it's in French though.
Oh, I know,
but you also linked in the
oh
Game
yeah, okay, yeah,
YouTube channel
that
I listened to and checked out some of the Twitter threads about this. So it was a pretty fascinating way to explore different economic trends and how it works. I listened to a couple of these videos and really interesting. So looking forward to.
I quickly explain this guy. So I don't know this person. This is not like publicity, whatever. It's just that I like him because he's really talking all about facts. He's not talking about resistance stuff, triangle ascending. It's not about all of this. It's more about really he found public data about the economy of the American economy, which is really interesting from an economic perspective. And he tries to like make more long-term prediction of what's the stock market on whatever crypto, stock market, etc. will react to if the economy goes through a recession. This is just, he just show public data. This is really interesting. You see all of those images are charts because he just speaks fact, and then then after he says his opinion. But so just from that, and this is refreshing to see an influencer that just talk mostly about facts and charts. So yeah, this is why I like this guy. And he has a Twitter account, by the way. He published tweets every 2-3 days. But yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah, thanks for that overview. I wasn't signed into my account, so I was getting a bunch of ads as I was doing it. But yeah, you can check out Game of Trades on YouTube and also on Twitter. I'll give them a follow. I think I follow on a different account there. And yeah, they have some great summaries. So yeah, thanks so much, Nicolas, for sharing this with us. And it's an important thing to learn. Like I saw some of those thumbnails for the videos whoops, wrong one, getting a little confused here. But yeah, some of those thumbnails are talking about like major housing trends in China or in the United States and all these different places, and also macroeconomic analysis on blockchain industry and all these things. So that's very important and helpful and fascinating to learn about these larger trends. It can play a big role in us on the ground here. If anybody has any more thoughts about Game of Trades, you can also, or GameOfTrades.net is a place where you can learn more about this too. But if anybody has any thoughts about Nicolas' work with the EOS price index, as I try to find the right thread, or maybe I'll just search for it again because I think I might have overdone it there. But at EOS Index over here, and if anybody has any comments about this, then feel free to jump in. Would be curious to hear your thoughts. And then after this, whenever we're ready to move on, and then we have topics, I'll just, I guess, briefly provide an update about Eden Fractal, even though I kind of did already, and then a very brief update about Alien Worlds Fractal, and then we'll get into the Eden on EOS election, which is very exciting coming up soon. Any more thoughts about EOS price index from Nicolas or anybody else here? I see Patrick posted Game of Trades was created before Game of Thrones. Okay, good to know. Good tidbit there. And I see Brendan Lovejoy did actually unmute this time, and I'm sure I saw that. Brendan, would you like to share some thoughts?
Now, well, I'm just messing with your head now. Thanks for this info here. It turns out I was already following EOS price index, so yeah, good stuff. I'll scope out this thread. It's nice to put a person with the Twitter account.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Nicolas Dawan is the best B.
The best B.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah. The best brain, the best macroeconomic. He's the director of the finance for all the Bs.
I try to be. I try my best.
Yeah. You do great.
I'm just here to learn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for the kind words.
Yep, you did excellent work, Nicolas. Thank you very much. And thank you everybody for the great conversation so far. I hope everybody's enjoying it. And I suppose if anyone wants more thoughts there, then feel free to jump in. But otherwise, I will go on to the next topic here. And perhaps I'll just give a couple brief updates about Eden Fractal and Alien Worlds. Maybe I'll just keep going unless anyone wants to jump in and interrupt with any questions or comments or thoughts. And then we'll get into the Eden on EOS election. I know many people are excited about that. So without further ado, I'm sharing my screen now for Eden Fractal. EdenFractal.com, we had our anniversary meeting about 3 weeks ago or so, 4 weeks ago now maybe, and I provided a little bit of an update about that. That was actually the first time we tried the Cignals game that I mentioned, but I did a couple weeks ago update the EdenFractal.com/website, mentioning how Eden Fractal is a community that creates innovative games, shows, and tools, and put together like a little bit more of a one-page summary talking about the games we play, and I had put together an article at the games at edencreators.com/games, which I also featured during a recent town hall where you can learn about philosophy of games. I think about how games can create profound benefits for all, and then also different consensus games that we play. I won't go too much here because I think we discussed in the previous one. Also, a welcome article that I'm working on with Rosemary about things that people can learn for the first time, and then people can also check out edenfractal.com/videos to see our most recent videos, and working on upping our production game and getting out sooner and making more clips and so forth. Lots of exciting stuff. I mentioned that we had our anniversary meeting, and we tried this with a new method for the first time using the Zoom cloud recording so we can get different camera angles. And that's one of the reasons why we were behind here, because it wound up messing things up in some ways, and there were some great things about it, but it took us a few weeks to go through and edit all this. And I was also working with Rosemary to figure out the best ways to edit this and stuff like that. So we had a great meeting for the anniversary that we summarized in a town hall from 2 weeks ago, and you can see the games that we played and so forth there. And then, of course, you can also scroll down edenfractal.com/videos to check out other meetings where we planned our anniversary and did more. These are all on the Eden Creators YouTube channel, and actually we just published the 54th Eden Fractal video, and we're publishing the 55th and 56th pretty soon. As I said, worked on this with Rosemary, and it's great to see that these videos are coming together sooner, and we're also doing a lot of great interactions with Alien Worlds, which I'll mention briefly. I don't think I actually finished on the edenfractal.com/website for anybody who's not aware, but I don't think okay, cool. I thought my computer froze for a second, but it's all good. Yeah, but also in addition to the games, you can also check out the videos I was mentioning here on the YouTube channel and all the tools that we're building. There's an article that I've been working on to feature the work that Vlad, Dath, and many other great developers have been doing with Eden Fractal. And everybody's welcome to join these meetings, of course, every Wednesday at 15:30 UTC. During the anniversary, so we had, I'll just provide a little recap about what I'm still working on there, because we're still working on summarizing. This is the tools article where you can learn more about the tools and all the cool stuff we're building. A lot of these articles are quite long and detailed and going to be working on organizing it a bit better, but they are quite well organized, at least for now, where you can learn about a lot of different tools, and that's of course at edenfractal.com where you can learn more. And then at edencreators.com/anniversary, one of the reasons why we're also a bit behind is because we did so many new things for the anniversary and working on publishing an article about things we're doing. And right now you can see there's kind of a to-do list of things that we're doing that I've been working on, collaborating with Rosemary about this. But we're working because we had so many great speeches. Basically what we did during the anniversary was we played 2 new games. It was Fractal DJ, where we rated each other's music, and people got some rewards from that. I don't know why it's so zoomed in right now, and that was really cool. And then we gave a speeches game too, in addition to the regular games where we play like the Fractally kind of games and so forth. And people gave speeches, and I got good video quality of like each person's speech. So we wanted to use this as promotional material, and we're just working on getting like our infrastructure set up to start cracking out a lot of videos, because I want to start making like 20 awesome videos each meeting from every time that people do awesome stuff. So, and then we're working on the prizes too for NFTs. So a lot of the stuff has been just like developing infrastructure. So I figured I'd give an update about that with Eden Fractal. And since then we've tested the Cignals game twice, as I mentioned before, with the Pomelo pitch sessions. So just a high level overview if anybody wants to jump in. I know we want to get to the Eden on EOS topics, which are very exciting as well, but wanted to share there. Red said, gotta go, bedtime for the littles. Thank you, Red, very much for joining. Hope that you and the littles will do great. Have a great night, and great seeing you today at the Alien Worlds Fractal meeting. And yeah, hope you have a great day. And then speaking of Alien Worlds, I'll just provide a little update too, because I was just with Red at the Alien Worlds Fractal meeting, which has been closely collaborating with the Eden Fractal. Vlad recently ported over the Eden Fractal software to the Wax blockchain, and we've been having lots of collaborations. So you can go to edencreators.com/Alien Worlds Fractal to see an update, some high-level updates about what is Alien Worlds Fractal. This was started by Dwayne towards the end of 2022 to help Alien Worlds. If anybody's not familiar, this is one of the most popular Web3 games in the world. You can learn more at alienworlds.io. It's built on Wax by the creators of EOS Stack, and lots of people in the community know myself, Brad, several other people, Vlad, are really excited about Alien Worlds and all the great things we're doing here. And just as a high-level overview, we're doing Alien Worlds Fractal meetings every Monday at 16 UTC now. You can learn a little bit about it here, and we're also hosting discussions in the EOS ship call. I hosted with EOS with Lisa every Thursday at 15 UTC, and the Crown call that Dwayne hosts every Thursday at 16 UTC, where we discuss these in more detail. And we're now playing games for the 3rd week that Vlad proposed for Alien Worlds. These are based off the games that we play in Eden Fractal, but with some new changes. There's an automated MSIG, and he combined it with the Consortium app and Consortium games. So people who win the game and get the most respect actually get on the MSIG and can help make changes. And there's all sorts of really cool stuff going on with Consortium, which you can learn at wax.consortium.com vote, or also I have an article at edencreators.com/consortium where you can see a lot of different planet topics and stuff like that. And there's all sorts of cool tokenomics where people can earn by making votes. I'm stoked about this and stoked about how I can collaborate with Cignals as well. And Vlad, I've been working with him for years. He's an amazing builder. And then you can check out the article here that he linked, where you can see draft article for introducing consensus games. Actually, that's the draft article. He published the full article, and I have to update that page, I guess. If I go here, then I can probably just pull it up here because I already have it. But yeah, this is something we talked about here, introducing consensus games to Alien Worlds, where you can see Vlad's article with some cool mid-journey art talking about the origins of consensus games and how the consensus games help. and then the respect game that we do in the breakout rooms, and how I mentioned how people become the owners of the consortium game and so forth. So all sorts of cool stuff. If people aren't familiar, I recommend people checking it out, checking out this article, and you can find all of this curated at edencareers.com/Alien Worlds Fractal, and I'll also update that link here so you can see how it all works here. Lots of really exciting stuff we've been doing. And then I'll also just briefly mention as well, I mean, you can check out here to see the tweet from Alien Worlds and all sorts of cool stuff, but Eden Fractal has also been, I've been working with Michael Yates, the creator of the game, and we've made recommendations for Alien Worlds. He's now GNOME set up to IBC. It was one of the first instances of IBC that he set it up, where Eden Fractal is making recommendations for the Alien Worlds community, and Michael is using some of his tokens to vote as Eden Fractal votes for. So we actually just came to consensus in the 56th Eden Fractal meeting to refresh our votes each week, and the 54th Eden Fractal meeting, as I showed before in this video, that is where the Eden Fractal delegates recommended Vlad and Red, who is just here as custodians on Planet Ike in Alien Worlds. So lots of really cool stuff going on. Can go into more detail about this, of course, and you can find previous videos where we first recommended Dwayne and Lisa and all sorts of other stuff and some writing about it at edencareers.com/Alien Worlds Fractal. But just want to give a brief update and share that we just did our 3rd meeting. It's been going great. You can also watch the first 13 meetings here that Dwayne hosted, and a really exciting way to help people cooperate with consensus games and GameFi and all the amazing stuff that's going on in Alien Worlds. So that's that. I can go on much more about that, but I suppose I will wrap that part up. You can join t.me/Fractalian Worlds to learn more about what is we're working on there, and happy to discuss that. If anyone has any questions or comments about Alien Worlds or Alien Worlds Fractal, then please feel free to jump in now. Otherwise, we've been going on we've actually been pretty expedient this call. We have almost the full topic done, and it's only been an hour and 13 minutes since we started. So if anybody has any things you want to discuss, then we'd be happy to hear from you. If not, then we can move on to Eden on EOS. If anybody wants to talk about Eden Fractal or Alien Worlds Fractal, both those would be cool. I know I kind of just shared a lot there. Maybe I'll stop the screen share for a minute, as I say properly. It looks like everybody's chilling, everybody's quiet. I suppose that's a good cue to keep going on to the Eden on EOS topics. Everybody ready for that? Hope you all enjoyed those topics as well, and we will move on. I'll get back. We got some nods. Nice to see everybody's in sync here. Okay, cool. So, and now Nicolas getting really into the nod. He's enjoying it. All right. So Patrick also shared with me some messages, so I'll bring those up, but I'll just give a brief introduction here. I mentioned before, Eden on EOS election is coming up on July 8th. That is 5 days from now, and I'll try to publish this before then. Everybody can learn more about Eden on EOS at edenelections.com, where there's a good summary, although it's a little bit outdated, and there's other places you can also learn on the mind map as well. But there is some nice videos that Chris and Waxa did a while ago where you can learn more. Shout out to Lovejoy, who is a delegate for the first time in the Eden elections, and shout out to Patrick, who was a delegate last time. Shout out to Lenny and Mo, who are delegates now. You can learn all about it at edenelections.com. We've covered it many times, so I won't go over it here, but want to just let people know you can sign up to participate. You need to sign in to participate at least 1 day before, 24 hours before, to participate in the election. That's how it normally is, and there's been a lot of updates going on. You can check out the Eden Elections YouTube channel to see all of the most recent calls that Lenny and Mo have been hosting, and Patrick has been publishing here. So I recommend checking these out. And Patrick also recently did an interview on the Nova Crypto YouTube channel that I will pull up in a moment as well. But yeah, you can catch up with all the progress. Noam was also asking how's the best way to follow all the progress. Lenny's also been doing recaps. And then one thing that I'll add here too is that Lenny and Mo recently just proposed some bylaws too. So for the Eden on EOS Term 7 chief delegates, they proposed a number of bylaws. It's quite a lot longer, actually. Previously, this was like 2 or 3 pages, but they added all the parts in yellow, new parts or change parts. You crossed out some parts here. We can get into details if we would like to, and be curious to hear people's feedback. And in addition to the bylaws, which they've been added a considerable amount, then there's also a purpose paper that I believe the community has been working on in the working groups. So Lenny and Mo, for anybody not familiar, they've been hosting working group sessions, several each week, doing an awesome job bringing the community together. It's been amazing meeting the tech group and the strategy group and the media group and stuff like that. I've been joining many of these to learn and to help out however I can. And yeah, in the strategy work group, I believe that was where the purpose paper came in. There's a mission statement and lots of information. It's quite long. I haven't had the chance to read all of it. I know that Chris provided a lot of feedback too, Chris Barnes, and so it's great to see people providing so much, engaging so much with Eden on EOS and thinking about ways to improve and grow. I'm kind of scrolling through it quick just to give people just a high-level overview. If anybody wants to stop or dive in deeper to any specific part of it, we can. And also, I recommend people join the Eden community chats. You can join the Eden community in general, EOS community, to learn more, and then also check out the videos and listen to the videos. I'll pull up the links that Patrick shared with me too, but just to give a high-level overview to set up a conversation. And I suppose now I will maybe just open the floor if anyone would like to share. I see Patrick is sharing something about what Eden EOS is dedicated to. Perhaps Patrick or anybody else, would you like to jump in while I pull up a few different links?
Yeah, I just want to comment on previous term. We were always stating Eden on EOS is raising EOS, is here to give more value to EOS. That was really, let's say, poor or broad statement. Now it's more, let's say, more precise about the mission. So Eden on EOS DAO is dedicated to increasing the value of the EOS community by directing its human and financial capital, seeking out and incubating potential value generators and leveraging its assets to support this endeavor. So that's really oriented sandboxing, project incubation. That's very oriented worker proposal system with an embedded data governance in it. So that's what I have learned during these 3 months, following with week after week. And what you are showing now here, it's Pictory.ai generated video. I have taken the bylaw, not the old document, just the first page of the bylaws. I have put that into ChatGPT. ChatGPT has made I have asked it to make a summary. ChatGPT do that very well, the summary. Then I give the summary to Pictory.ai, and Pictory.ai generated this video very well on point. It's about Eden on EOS election 7 and beyond, because all began on elections term 7, where we have to, let's say, sandbox continuing what is into the bylaw, what is into the purpose paper, what is also into the dispute resolution process. We have to make that, and this video is mentioning that, by the way, that there is a dispute resolution process. We are not going into the detail. The video is very short. This video is here to promote Eden on EOS that I have made recently. So that's that. Yeah.
Really cool. Awesome. Thanks so much, Patrick, for posting this. You also have a bunch of other great links too that I'll show as well that are going on here. And really cool to see how you're using AI with Picture. I know we talked about that in previous episodes, and that goes to what Noam was talking about summarizing these, because there is a huge amount of information, huge amount of innovations, and the more we can communicate this, everyone, to with both video and audio and summaries and stuff like that, that's really helpful, because obviously what we're doing here with Eden and elections and consensus games is super helpful, and the more we can get it out, that's awesome. Thank you, Patrick.
That's the outcome of the working group NAMED Comms and Media, because we have working groups settled during this term, Comms and Media and other working groups. And I was very focused on Comms and Media because my stuff is always to do video and promote. So I was thinking that should be naturally that we are doing that when we are into Comms and Media Circle. Michael O'Sullivan has made also a nice article on Bywire to explain in a nutshell where he's going Eden on EOS DAO. So I was thinking, okay, I do this last, I produced this last one, thinking that's a nice resume. for the people that are maybe not in touch too much with Eden on EOS, at least they can digest this this video. There are the links to register, and also, yeah, that's my contribution for Eden on EOS Comms and Media. So
super cool. Thanks so much, Patrick. Yeah, if anyone else jump in, I'll also just share a couple of links that Patrick's been working on. He's been doing some really cool stuff in addition to working on that video with the comms and media group. He also put out a tweet here talking about registering EOS, and also shout out to Michael from Bywire, who put together an Eden AI assistant tool where you can search and ask questions to the assistant. This seems really, really helpful. It also reminds me of the work that Jorn did with Gitbook as well. So you could ask, for example, what is Eden on EOS? And then you can hit submit, and then the AI can generate results for you. I'll hit submit. Maybe it's not working right now or something, but I'll come back to it soon. And yeah, so there's also videos where you can learn about registration. Shout out to Luca's team as well. Luca have been building the upvote bot with Telegram, and I believe that we're going to be using that as the main way to do elections instead of Zoom this week. And so you can scan that QR code and learn more about how to do the election. You want to add something there, Patrick?
very easy. You see this upvote bot QR code. You just scan the QR code, and you arrive into the Telegram bot named upvote bot. And the goal is to have the upvote bot into Telegram on your left or on your right. That's as you want. You have the Telegram bot on one side, and you have the genesiscommunity.org website on the other hand. Like this, you are not losing your road. You are guided. You are guided. So this tweet here is just to mention about this short video about how to join the next Eden on EOS election of July 8th. That's begin at 1200 UTC already, because there Lenny will give some, and Mo also will give some information before to start the election. And yeah, basically that was produced also during this Common and Media Circle where I was. That's the contribution for Eden on EOS, yeah.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Patrick. I will share one last thing here, just to promote your work and promote Lenny's work and everybody a bit more. Just one last thing that I have on the list here, and then I will perhaps stop the screen share and open up if anybody has any other comments about the Eden election. Just one thing I want to mention, Patrick, is you did this interview with the Eden on EOS chief delegates, Mo and Lenny, this term. You can check out the links and timestamp, of course. So you can see him discussing the strategy and the purpose and mission of Eden on EOS, a good place to start. Comms and Media Circle that I've been participating in, many of them, and the idea of leads and pointed to circles and all these different interesting questions and discussions. I recommend people checking out. Patrick is often very to the point, as he loves to be, to provide people great information. And Patrick does a bunch of great interviews. We've done previous episodes. Patrick's done interviews with, I think, all or most, most of the Eden on EOS chief delegates in the past. So I recommend people to listen to this, to hear Lenny speak and Mo speak and Patrick speak about the progress going on in Eden on EOS and their future vision and so forth. I suppose I'll also just stop the screen share here because that was the last topic that I had on the agenda. Hope that everybody's been enjoying the Eden Town Hall so far, and we can wrap it up whenever, basically. But I'm sure that it seems like Patrick maybe wants to add something more there, and I know that Brendan and Noam were interested in having some discussions about the Eden on EOS election. Also, we have Lenny here too, who said he'd mostly be observing before we start recording. But Lenny, if you want to share some words about your experience so far as a Eden on EOS chief delegate, I want to say thanks for all the great work to Lenny and Patrick and everybody in the Eden on EOS community. But yeah, basically I'll leave it up there, and we can have a little open discussion if anyone wants to add their thoughts about Eden on EOS, or also if there's anything else on your mind that we didn't discuss or you want to come back to as well, we'd be happy to hear from it. I see Lenny sharing a chat. Wednesday, July 5th at 14 UTC, Eden on EOS AMA open to all members. More details in the Eden Community Telegram group. So that could be another great place to learn more. And thanks, Lenny, for being so available and organizing so many meetings where people can learn more. Really appreciate it. But anyway, yeah, on to you, Lenny, or Brendan, or Patrick, or haven't heard from Rosemary or Marco. Welcome, Marco, by the way. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're doing well. And
really well. A lot of good stuff, Patrick. Love all that stuff you shared.
Thank you. I just want to comment also Tuesday at 14 UTC, there is the AMA, yeah, as Lenny stated. There is also at 1800 UTC, there is a reputation call. This is there is a Pomelo grant on Pomelo for that. The Eden Repu, that's the reputation system. That's at 1800 UTC. On Wednesday, 5 July, there is the AMA exactly at 1400. On Thursday, 6 July, there is at 1800 UTC the weekly Eden on EOS meeting open to all members. And finally, Friday, 7 July at 1900 UTC, there is a tech and dev working group call. So the week is very well structured into working groups that was settled during this term. Other terms were trying to do the same, but that was not really well structured or well organized. That's the difference with this term 6. And about the video that I made about Lenny and Mo, the last one, I made the video when they were elected, and I made the video on 17 June about them. And that's interesting to compare when they were elected, what they stated, and on 17th of June, what they have stated during the call. They made a pitch during the call. I asked them to make like a pitch. If we have to promote that to, let's say, to another, let's say, founder or whatever, if we have to promote it on EOS, what we can say. So they were able to do that very well. You have to watch the video because that's very well made. They are not promising anything. They are just doing the things without to promise something that they will never do. So they are just doing. And for me, this term is for me, it's the best term. It's the best term because that's very well organized. I am very aligned with the bylaws, very aligned with the purpose paper, and with the dispute resolution process. That's not my cup of tea. It's too much complex for me because that's a lot of laws about juridic a little bit. But I understand very well what does it mean, a dispute resolution process for sure. But I think you can read this bylaw and the purpose paper and the dispute resolution at an abstract level that you want to read. And then on next election, term 7, I think if we approve this bylaw and we ratify them, that's not frozen in the stone. We can continue to collaborate with Lenny. We can continue to collaborate with Mo. If they are not elected, let's say, let's continue. It's not because you are not a delegate level 1 or a chief delegate. You are an Eden on EOS member at the base layer, and it's based on EOS. That's Eden on EOS. Molecule Animal, a little bit, maybe a little bit behind, sorry. That's Eden on EOS. Molecule Animal, interesting, but not really here for Eden on EOS. Maybe Lenny will let us know more. I leave at that. Thank you, Lenny, to jump.
Hey, Lenny.
You tricked me. No. Yeah, thanks anyway, kind words and those things. No, it's just a matter of, it's easy to kind of organize things because unfortunately we have not been very many active members as of late because people kind of been drifting away. And it's very important to start rebuild and refocus. And that's what me and Mo have been working on initially, because otherwise there is no future. So we'll see now if we got it right. And this proposal and similar, that's built on the basic idea that we have to, so to say, provide the value. And who can do it? Well, it's the human resource. We have a lot of good, hardworking people, smart people, but they are the ones who also drifted away in many ways because there was nothing for them to do. if you were not elected delegate, you work on with your own thing. We're trying to make it more as a community working toward the same goal. And the whole idea is that instead of delegates, L1s or chiefs getting over funding, now we'll do it in the working groups. So it will be a more fair distribution. Members with talent, with time, with activities that are relevant, they can actually come in and offer their services, do their work, and earn something for it as well. So it's a whole different concept, and that's what I mentioned when I said it's not about ratifying the bylaw as much as this total change of the whole direction forward. And well, any questions and stuff, it's very hard to comprehend. I mean, me and Mo have been working with that for 2.5 months. First 2 weeks to get to know each other. We have had daily talks, more or less. It's only the two of us, so we have to agree in whatever we do, otherwise we can't go anywhere. So there's been some discussions back and forth, but we've had 2.5 months to actually work on the concept, and even the last 2-3 weeks looking at all the different angles, and now we're getting late out the flow charts and other things. So it's been, tweaking along the way from all the different discussions we've had and similar. So it's been pretty hectic. It's got to be nice to have an election coming up and relax. But whatever happens, both me and Mo is going to be around anyway. So if a community, but the problem is for the community to come now and read up if they weren't here before, it's a tough task. It's a very tough task. And me, honestly, much of it, I was hesitant in the beginning. Mo came up with a lot of his ground ideas. I've said that before. And I was quite hesitant to say, whoa, hang on a minute. But through discussions, and I've been around a while in different organizations and business and whatever, discussions, reading it, pondering, looking at the different angles and so, 100% for it now. The question is, can we get, but it took me a month to come to that stage. Question is now, can we get the community in a week and a half to buy in? But we'll see how it works out. And next term, like I said, will not be huge dramatic changes, or even if a bylaw is adapted. If a bylaw is not adapted or ratified, in either case, it's for the community now to decide, is this a way forward for us or not?
Yeah.
And possibly consider that in the elections and ask questions, what do the candidates want? Because one of the things candidates now have to think about, they are not going to earn as much in future as done now. Because part of that funds will go to the people actually working in the working groups. So there's quite big changes. It might not be so attractive to be a delegate anymore. And so there's a lot of things to take in. So anyone who seriously wishes to be a candidate, it's very wise if you read up soon as possible the documents. Yeah. Try to mill it around, because it's not an easy concept. It's not what should I say? It's not complicated, but it's a lot of different bits and pieces to put together to get the whole system. I'll be quiet with that. AMA Wednesday 1400 UTC. We're not going to give you all the answers, but you have a chance to put all your questions forward. And if you're lucky, you get an answer. Thanks.
Thank you, Lenny.
Yeah, thank you very much, Lenny. Great to hear from you. And thanks again for all the great work. I saw Lovejoy giving a clap. I see he's unmuted too. And I see Marco has his hands up. So I suppose first we'll go to Marco, and then we'll go to Lovejoy after that. Marco, you have thoughts you'd like to share?
Yeah.
Maybe Marco. Okay, there we go.
Are the funds allocated yet for the working groups?
We've been collecting it together. We haven't allocated it as of yet, but that's hopefully going to happen by the end of this week. So we're hoping to see what's going to be the end amount we receive. That still was 2,000 shy last time I looked.
I'm not concerned about the amount. I'm concerned about the contract.
Oh, the account is in place. The account is in place, yes, since a week and a half back. Oh, no, 2 weeks maybe.
Yeah.
I know in the past coding has been kind of set, but doesn't it need to be ratified by the next chief delegates for it to be distributed by the contract?
hang on, now I don't. You mean the funds, WG funds.eden for the current work and similar?
Right.
Or,
So the smart
I
contract.
didn't understand your question. Just repeat.
Yeah, I'm restating it. So the smart contract for Eden will distribute funds for level 1 and chief delegates.
Yes.
The chief delegates both get a portion of the chief delegate pool and the level 1 pool. And that's all the smart contract does when it comes to funding. Unless you're saying that's already been changed, or does that need to be ratified?
Yeah. No, nothing is changed code-wise. The thing is, what happens is, first of all, we have the election, of course, and you have a new set of CDs, whoever it is, and similar. These CDs would then have to ratify the bylaw to make those changes. So there's no automatic changes. And that might happen later on and so. And there are different ways. On AMA, we're going to explain a bit further how that might develop, either they reject it or not.
Maybe the things that Marco comes with, there is an account now, wjfunds.eden, where the delegate level 1 and the CDs also, Mo and Lenny, have donated. Mo and Lenny have give 6 times the 300 EOS that the delegate level 1 contribute to these funds. And myself, I am not a delegate, but I have give something, a gesture, let's say a gesture. But this wgfunds.eden, Lenny, can you explain really for what it is?
Well, we've been running meetings since, I think, 2 to 3 weeks after, working group meetings since 2-3 weeks after our election back in April, was it? And early on, we kind of said those should be remunerated because it's been work, actually, discussions and similar. But the people who participate even in the meetings and so deserve to get something paid. Time is money. And for that thought processes and those angles on views in different ways, it's been valuable. So we've been keeping track of the people there, and we have a formula for the distributions. Now that formula will not apply 100% out, in the sense that we didn't get that kind of a structure during these few months, and participation was varying very much. Some had up to 10, 12, some 3-4 people at times, so it's a lot of variations. But we're going to discuss that, me and Mo, so we make a fair distribution of the total amount. That's the whole idea. I'll be quiet now. I see Brendan have a hard hand up. It might not be me.
Yep, that's correct. Thanks for the great discussions, Patrick, Lenny, Marco, and thank you for being patient there, Brendan. Very curious to hear your thoughts. So if we go ahead now.
Oh yeah, what was I going to talk about? Good morning. So let's see here.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good day.
Yeah.
Wherever we are. Lenny, I'm curious, like, I haven't had a chance to like really grok the extent of the proposed changes, but I know that you and Mo are aware of the Hypha developments, and I'm wondering how much of what was kind of baked into your proposal is designed to bring Eden kind of into parity with some of the features that Hypha has, and anticipating being able to leverage some of those that tool essentially. If you could give a little context there.
From my personal opinion, I don't know Mo actually. Like I said, he was a lot of the idea builder from beginning. But my own personal, I've been a big fan and favorite of Seeds and then Hypha over the last 4 years, followed them from early on, and then kind of not lost touch, but But I love the Hypha structure itself as it was for about a year back or something, and then I haven't had time. Fair enough. But it's a perfect thing. I even tried to introduce it in Sweden, in the real world, political party-wise and whatever, but that's a different story. This paper, these things, might a little bit, what should I say, might have been influenced by my, no, not passion, my interest in Hypha structure, because all the structure through with badges, how do you get your work assignments, all these things, decentralized manner as it was. And Reiki, our former CD, had a long 1 hour and 15-minute intro, all the different aspects, all the tweakings, everything, which really sold me. But this paper, honestly, got nothing to do with it. But it's a natural way of building things. You have small teams, you have small work groups. I mean, I've done that in physical world. You got to have your team set up for different areas of interest, those that are good at that. And so it's a very natural structure that Hypha has built. Now, of course, we know, and one of the first things we did from me and Mo was to take a chat with Joachim in Hypha, mainly because we didn't know what was developing, what was happening, because it's been silent a little bit from late last year. And where in the beginning, we talked to them a lot, of course, and there was a mock-up set up a little bit and all these things. So we got some feedback. And now when the beta came, we kind of again went up. And so we've had some meetings with them, looking at the works group structure and all those things are good as far as we can judge. The problem is, there is a small problem today in the sense that the upvoting is not even on EOS style upvoting as of yet in the beta. So that we've given a request list to their developers and similar. And so they are presumably working on it, but it will most likely not be for this beta. So there is a bit work, as far as we understand from Hypha side, to look at how we might connect the two and test it out. But at this stage, we don't know yet if it's going to work out, because our upvote process is a key for a lot of these things to actually come together the way we envisage. But when it comes to the basic agreements and working agreements and the voting and similar in those areas, it's pretty straightforward, I think. And it's just the upvote process, the 3 monthly one we have currently. But we don't have an answer yet on it, so we'll see how it develops. But the paper itself, all those pages and the thinking, it's not really an Hypha thing to come closer. It's a natural, good organizational model.
I just want to comment on that with Hypha. We have had some calls, technical calls with Luca, Sashit, Mo, me also. And we were discussing about how we can import the current state of Eden on EOS into Hypha, let's say. How Hypha can detect who is a delegate level 1, how they can detect who is a head shift delegate, how they can detect who is a shift delegate. So the ranking, and also about how to detect the round, because we have to tell them those things. So they will know how to detect those things, because that's on chain, that's on the Genesis.Eden smart contract. So there is no secret. They will find those information. So the goal is to import, at least to import into their system, because they have role badges assigned to the circles, so they can replicate in a way what we are doing into our upvote process. In a way, I say in a way, because seeing is believing. We have to see really if they will support that. So, but there is a partnership, let's say, like Dominic Thomas was stating, between Eden on EOS and Hypha. There is a possible partnership, let's say like this, a partnership, not be, let's say, meshed into Hypha. Eden on EOS is Eden on EOS, Hypha is Hypha, Eden Fractal is Eden Fractal, and let's connect the circles, let's connect the platforms. That's the goal, I think. Lenny, you correct me if I say a bullshit here, but
not quite. But no, I'm joking. No, we have to see how it works with the uploading structure, importation. Those are out in the air right now.
Yeah.
And we're kind of waiting for developers in Hypha coming back to us. They are extremely busy getting their beta out, I understand, already in a week or two or something.
Yes.
So we don't expect any miracles, but the word we have is that it's not incorporated from beginning. But we keep on talking. The thing is, for if community buys in, and we have a new set of CDs that are already also buying into our concept, me and Mo and the working groups and similar, then it will be all manual processes, amending the law, because one key part, very short, small key part in the bylaw proposal is that you can divide the core bylaw with regulations or articles, etc., instead of one 30-page document.
Voilà.
That's one huge change, which made will make it easier to actually fix it up. But it will be nothing really implemented code-wise or anything, as far as I can see, until we have proven that we can do it manually. Because what can be done in code can be done manually. People have been doing that for how many years, how many generations? So we have to first prove our case and prove our work model, and then start to look at coding it and all these things. Because, of course, the more we can put on code, the better. Thanks.
That's begin on July 9.
Let me just add that if when Hypha and it works one way or the other, hey, most of the code is there already.
Yeah.
And the way they do it is fitting. So I loved it when I heard ENF funding them and coming to work on EOS tokens too, utility token. So that's been, but we're not there yet. But one way or the other, I think that will make things a lot easier for us too in future. Thanks.
Absolutely. And I just want to say that's begin on July 9 until September, October. It's to sandbox those bylaws, those purpose paper, this dispute resolution process, and see if we have more people interested also, there is engagement, real engagement, then we can speak about creating a DAO and doing all this stuff with LLC DAO and all those things juridic. But before that, not even the moment to speak about that. The moment it's to do testing, not on chain. That could be made on spreadsheets, and make some adjustment test. And when we see it is okay, we go on chain. Same things for hidden fractal, same things for allied world fractal. We are all into the same, let's say, boat. Exactly. We have to see if it works, and then if we have more people engaged, interested. But I think how the things are going with those bylaws and this purpose paper, this, let's say, strategy workshop that we had with Gabriel Shaw, shout out to him, we have made a good step forward during this term 6 with Lenny and Mo to shift delegate. Imagine if there was 4 or 5, that's complicated. But here, with those 2 so much aligned, that's a beauty. So that was working very well. But Brandon, are you happy to be the MC for this Saturday?
Yeah. Any special requests?
Yeah. Can you sing? No, it's not okay. Yeah.
You can rap and dance.
or dance. Brandon Lovejoy dance.
Singing and dancing? That's going to cost you extra. But
yeah, I know. I will ask. Maybe Dan will help me. I don't know.
Sure thing.
Yeah. I mean, well, what do you guys think about the format previously? We could talk about this in the AMA too on Wednesday, perhaps. But
let's begin with that on at 1200 UTC, Lenny, with some direction questions, right?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we did approach Brandon, and gracefully,
sorry.
Kindly, he did agree to sort of say step up on the thin ice again and similar.
And Brandon, you give me the MP4 at the end because I have to.
Yeah, he's committed, Patrick, because I can't until after the election to do.
Actually,
but anyway, to come back to that, what you said, and beginning 12 o'clock, we will have a chat with you also, Brandon, on those kind of things. But it's good. Give some feedback from you people here now. Feedback is always most important. It should not come from top. Okay, I'll be quiet.
I think Brandon is ready.
Yeah, I think so. It looks like he's ready. he's crunching the fist, which knows he knows
going into battle.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a consensus game. Oh, sorry, I thought it was last person standing.
A little bit less of the battle part, and
good joke. Good joke.
Yeah, I mean the format has largely remained the same. Honestly, I thought Reiki did about the best job of all time.
No.
With with the
you
way
made you made the best job. I vote for you.
Like his backup, so I was like the wind beneath his wings. But
ooh,
but he did
I'd like more of that.
But he did a good. Yeah, I'm not singing that song for you. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, I mean the format has worked well so far. Like the hour prior, and then kind of answering questions and giving people the floor, the previous delegates, to kind of speak a little bit, wish everybody good luck, and then afterwards we've just been going for as long as it takes. But I mean last time was a long one. But yeah, I'll did we sort out the community Zoom room link issue? Is it still like I have to replace the old message with the new link?
And what's up if I take it? No, I think the CDs know it. Not many of us know really what's going to happen, because we don't want to confuse. No, that Zoom link, we even requested that somehow we should remove it or similar, because it's a bit of a change there. Because Zoom technically has worked, but then people finding their way, they couldn't fix the link. And to start fiddle with it might break a lot of other things, the way the code is built in that program. You're probably aware of that, Brandon, from the earlier times.
Yeah, it's so funny to me that should be like, of all the complex things that software does, like that adjusting a link to a Zoom meeting room should be so difficult.
So already earlier, what we early on discussed, and most of members, well, no one objected, it was that we will run with the upvote bot, the one holding us by the hand and leading us from room to room, etc. So then it's pretty straightforward, and it's a matter of using both Eden OS UI for the actual voting part, see how it's developing, how it's going, and then you have an upvote bot, a Telegram bot on the left side of the screen, and similar.
Okay,
but it will be allowed to use any other video as well, of course, but people would hopefully primarily go to the upvote bot.
Yeah, so I'm talking about something different. I'm not talking about the actual election breakout rooms. I'm talking about the community Zoom room, which it's really like got nothing to do with the election, kind of, except that it's where everyone hangs out before they
there will be. I mean, I have an active account, what do you call it, paid account since way back, and similarly, but we haven't decided exactly how we're going to run the community room, but it will be on Zoom. It will be on Zoom, yes.
Well, just let me know if I need to update. In the past, just so you know, for the reason I'm asking is because it's like every election we have this same thing come up again, which is that they were updating the UI from an old Telegram message that I had to go back in and edit the old Telegram message to reflect the new Zoom link in order for it to show up the right link in the UI. And that was true last election as well. And so it was a bit of a conundrum, just because we had to make sure that the right old message was edited to reflect the new link. So just confirming that in advance of the election, so that in case that link is still showing somewhere in the UI, which I'm not really even sure if it does. Let me see. It will need to be.
I think you see it before the election is initiated.
It might not. Yeah, but I mean, you should, because it's open an hour before the election.
Yeah, but right now, I mean, you can't probably see those details right now unless you're looking at the code behind.
Let me see here. Election, upcoming election. Sign in to participate. Oh, I guess I can't do anything because I'm not signed in to participate yet. I'm probably not going to participate at this time if I'm MC again. So that's actually kind of an interesting problem too. So I have to sign in to see what's going on. I'm just breaking this system left and right, aren't I?
The thing is, I believe, honestly, we're still recording our VS, but that's no secret. I've said it many times before. I believe when that software was built, there was already ideas about the future, what it would look like, something similar to what we know as Sybase. And therefore, the codes is very much woven into each other, different places. And even now, when it came to this password, the actual password for the Eden OS UI, we actually requested, can't we just blank that out and similar, but it's connected in different ways. It's hard to find out exactly what. So we don't dare touch it, to be honest. And you still know how it works. It's still seamless to get through, but it's just another friction point we would like to remove. So there's a lot of issues with it. We've had a lot of meetings with Edinia and even Luca and similar on these things, but we don't want to risk breaking anything either because we do need these softwares.
Right.
Yeah. I'm more of a form follows function kind of guy. So I'm like, if that's why I was asking about Hypha, because I'm like, Hypha's just theoretically got all the tools and they're motivated to keep updating the software and at no additional cost apart from all that stuff. So if they can get the upvote process to the liking of the Eden community, then it would seem like a no-brainer to kind of like offload all the technical costs and associated headaches and weird legacy issues that we have to
because
that.
The way it's been described to us is basically like a normal election, but you have everyone voting up and then it's based on a number of votes and similarly. So it's so far away the upvote system from the upvote system we use. So it's for the time being, I believe it might be a talk about looking about exporting up the results if they can get it synchronized, or if they work all the way and offer a proper Eden on EOS upvote style with breakout rooms and climbing upwards in a fractal manner.
Yeah, I think that's part of the that was definitely one of the milestones. And I know that there was some confusion at one point, but I do believe they are that is the goal, is to provide that feature.
There is hope.
Yeah. So cool. Yeah, I don't see a community Zoom room linked anywhere in here, so that's good because then we don't have to worry about, because I just signed in to participate. I can even opt out still, but cool.
Just something with the
it's Leicester is gonna be sort of the tech lead. I didn't confirm. I think you asked Brandon. I think I forgot to confirm. And he actually gonna have someone help him out. Not that it's needed, but a young smart guy who is very technically savvy and full of initiatives. And that's Jon from the New Legend Telegram handle. And he will be taking part in the election, but to learn. We need more bodies that's capable also running the technical stuff in the background or have a feeling of it. So we do have a bit of a redundancies in that kind of way as well.
Just want to say something. Let's say on this next election, Saturday, okay, we are in the next election, suddenly happening a spinning wheel. We never know. It's bandwidth, it's internet. We never know what can happen. No one can mock up an election. We have made, but it's not really the same as a live. It's complicated to mock up an election. But let's say, happening a spinning wheel. Keep quiet. You have your upvote bot on your left or on your right or on the top, on the bottom, like you want. You are in with this upvote bot. He will guide you on blocks.io and he will pre-fill the fields and you have just to vote. Inflate the balloons. So you will not be lost. So don't be crying and prying if you are with a spinning wheel. Okay, stay with the upvote bot. Very important.
Okay, let's give you the final backup. Keep in mind that snap elections are also a possibility. If let's say the servers and stuff crash or whatever, large issues, good. We call a snap election shortly after. Then we have election in a few weeks again and get things improved.
Yeah, and the snap election needs 2/3 of majority.
But now we're doing nightmare stories, so forget about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, settle down on that nightmare scenario stuff.
If you have a problem, call Brandon.
No.
Sorry, for this you have the vote bot. That's your little companion. He's very kind. He's very. You need the vote bot.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing how that works out this time. There were some minor issues last time, and I know a lot of people ended up. So okay, we're talking about upvote bot, but we're also like we haven't really clarified Zoom versus Telegram. And last time there was kind of a like use whatever tool you want and meet wherever you want kind of thing. And people were kind of, we were trying to even promote Telegram a little bit because it would be kind of a one and done solution if we could use Telegram. But ended up not working that everyone could get together in Telegram. So then a lot of people reverted to Zoom. Do we have?
It's not complete yet. It might be off. It might be offline right now because I'm going to go in and vet it and have a look at it and give him a word back in return. So the plan is that basically by the time of the AMA, if nothing fails, we should have a flow chart for the whole long dispute resolution, be able to go through the core of the bylaws and the structure and the mission ahead that we are proposing, and also give instructions where to find, and of course, do so in text in Telegram, Twitter, and other places, where you find the election guide and all these different things. Because as long as people are actually paying attention, that's the hard one, because most people don't pay attention until possibly Friday, if they sign up, and then they say, oh, what's been happening since last time? Unfortunately, that is one of the issues, not to have a community that follows up all the time. So we have a lot of things happening in the next coming of days, which we hope will alleviate a lot of issues. And although we are talking and promoting the upvote bot, that should be the one to be used, we will allow if someone have been opted out or somehow. But there is a risk. I know issues. I went through all the different videos in January and April, and there are issues. People not finding each other. You have strangers coming into your room, and then they realize after 5 minutes you don't belong, etc. You had a lot of issues with the Zoom because of a failed issue on Eden OS, Zoom link, and other things. So I think it's a good move to now focus on the Telegram, on the upvote bot for and get things in. Might be some small glitches. Nothing is 100%, but then we wouldn't learn them if we didn't try it out properly.
I am ready for the glitches in case upvote bot will help you, or Brandon maybe can help also.
Dan want to talk. I'm talking too much.
Yeah, I'm not talking too much. I appreciate all the insights. Thank you, Lenny. And thanks, Brendan and Patrick and everybody for the thoughtful discussion about how to make these tools work as well as possible. We certainly do have a long way to go, or at least this election will be really helpful to make it so many other people can use these election software easily without issues. But it's great to see Luca's development and all the awesome work and discussion so far, and I'm looking forward to selection. I did have an internet issue. I've been having some internet issues, and I have to get going pretty soon to try to troubleshoot this and have some other things to take care of. So I think it might be best if we start to wrap up the recorded part of the call right now. And then I can also leave the Zoom room open if anybody would like to stick around longer and discuss further details. But if that's cool with everybody, maybe a thumbs up. And I have a little presentation I can share as a recap. I see Brandon said he has to drop soon. Yeah, everybody's been here for a while, so I imagine people have to go. So I'll just jump in this presentation in like 2 minutes or a minute, and then we can end with a Go Eden perhaps and invite everybody to join the election, everything.
Absolutely.
And then absolutely. Okay, cool. Sounds good. So real quick, I'll share it to respect everybody's time. Thanks everybody so much for being here. Really appreciate everybody sharing their thoughts and watching and joining and everything like that. This has been a great Eden Town Hall. You can learn more at Eden Town Hall at edentownhall.com, where I mentioned you can watch videos and everything like that. I wanted to give a quick shout out to Hypha too. I know Brendan's been a great advocate for Hypha, and it was really cool on that Twitter space. People wanted to learn more about that and follow up. There's hypha.earth where you can learn more, and they have a new video, which I hadn't seen yet, but you can check it there. I've been communicating with Dominic and Gabriel from the team, working with Alien Worlds as well. So really excited for the collaborations with Hypha, and we do have an episode about Hypha that we did on the 33rd episode of Eden Town Hall. I think Brendan was there and Patrick was there and maybe Lenny, a bunch of us were there too. So you can check out that great episode if you want to learn more about Hypha in addition to those. And then as Patrick and I were discussing before, we have a bunch of episodes for Town Hall and we're getting caught up on these and we'll share them soon. Then you can find them on edentownhall.com/episodes. I'll try to release this in the next couple of days so people can see it before the upcoming election and you can watch all the older ones there. And then while we were talking to you, I also put together some like pretty basic show notes in case you wanted to look at the things we discussed today. So at edentownhall.com/54, I'll share it in the Zoom chat, in the Telegram channel. You can see a overview of some topics that we discussed, the Pomelo recap, EOS price index, Eden Fractal updates, Alien Worlds updates, and Eden on EOS updates, along with some pictures where you can learn more about the Eden Fractal pitch sessions, the post that I made about the Pomelo grants, the collections. There's much more we discussed too, but I just took some links with the EOS price index. You can click on all these to explore more. Eden Fractal updates here, Alien Worlds updates here with the new videos, Eden on EOS updates with Patrick's content and the interview with Mo and Lenny, and also the tweets talking about Eden on EOS and the upvote bot and everything like that, as well as the bylaw proposal here and the upcoming meetings that Mo and Lenny have been hosting and a link to join on Eden on EOS. And then there's also just all the links that I shared here too. In the future, I'll get these show notes much better, especially when all that stuff with funding and stuff can help do that. But for now, there's a place where I'll share where people can find all the links we shared. And then you can go to genesis.eden.eoscommunity.org to sign in. Remember, you need to sign in at least 24 hours in advance to be able to participate. And that is that for my presentation. We've been on a wild ride, an awesome ride, space monkeys, as Brandon Lovejoy would say, since 2021 for over 2 years now. And I'm stoked for the 7th election upcoming. Big thanks to Lenny and Mo for leading the ship as chief delegates in this term, and Patrick and Noam and Rosemary and Lovejoy and Nicolas. Everybody's on call for awesome calls or awesome discussions, everything we've been going. Really appreciate everybody here and everybody watching. Thanks all for watching. It's been awesome. And I suppose we can wrap it up. If anybody has any last thoughts you want to throw in, feel free. But otherwise, we can say go Eden on count of 3. How's that sound?
I am ready to wrapping up. Let's go!
Patrick is ready. All
I
right.
have to say something
and
before
Nicolas, you want it too, it sounds like.
Okay.
Whatever Patrick wants. Patrick,
okay.
he handles the ending. He's the master.
That was a beautiful
If anyone wants to jump in with last thoughts, though, feel free.
Yeah.
Beautiful meeting. Go ahead, Patrick.
Yeah, that was a beautiful meeting. I love it. Dan, you are better than ever. And Rosemary is showing with his Luna, crazy Luna. So I think we can say with all our heart, soul, and mind, go Eden on EOS. But for that, you have to raise your hand if you have one.
Sounds good. Ready to do it. And do you have any last words before we say go Eden on EOS? Or are we good to go?
No,
I think we're good to go. All right.
Surely.
All right. 3, 2, 1, 0.
And go Eden on EOS.
Go Eden on EOS.
Huh? You understand?
Yeah, we need to work on our
right.
synchronization though, because it's kind of trash.
Hallelujah.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we'll work on that in the future, Nicolas, and we've had some good ones in the past too, but I think maybe I was tired after 2 hours, so this has been an excellent meeting. Go Eden on EOS, go Eden, go EOS, go everybody. Thanks everybody so much for the great call, and see you on next Monday. On Town Hall, and see you at the election coming up on Saturday, and all the other friends coming up every week. See you all. Thanks. Bye.
Eden. time.